All-nighters, pizza, poker, and video games. Hey everybody, my name's Nick. Welcome to Brooksy Society. And today we're going to be discussing what a billionless Bill Gates was like when he was in college. To begin with, he graduated high school in 1973 with National Merit Status and scored a mind-boggling 1590 out of 1600 on the SAT test. An intellectual accomplishment which he'd boast about for years to come when meeting new people. The ivory towers of Harvard University were calling, and there he was encouraged by his parents to major in pre-law. Considering his father was a fairly prominent lawyer in the Seattle area, despite satisfying their wishes, he secretly enrolled in a flurry of mathematics and computer science classes, courses that he knew would never count towards completing his official pre-law major, but would undoubtedly fuel his passion for technology. Although he tweaked his schedule to include more interesting topics, early on in his collegiate career, he still got to the point of having little to no enthusiasm when it came to the typical classroom experience. Instead, he opted to spend the majority of his time working on his own projects in the school's computer labs. And if we remember when he was in high school, his teachers pretty much allowed him to do that very thing. Skip class and just live in the computer lab. By all intents and purposes, he was that kid who hardly invested any effort into homework or studying, but somehow on talent alone got an A on the test. When it came to his social life, Bill's computer obsession certainly took a toll on his ability to make friends. Living in the dorms with a few other bright young men made it nearly impossible for him to turn down every poker night, or even the occasional video game binge fest. One college friend named James Sethna, now a professor of physics at Cornell, remembers how he used to study with Gates until 2 or 3 in the morning, consuming pizza and taking breaks to play foosball or video games. The only all-nighter I ever pulled at Harvard was with Bill, Sethna recalls. We played Pong and computer chess all night at the computer facility on one of the older computers that had been put aside for just that purpose. Another roommate of his remembers waking up one night and hearing Bill talking in his sleep. He was saying 1, 0, 0, laying out some sort of math problem in his head, the guy explains. Getting into his poker play, Greg Nelson says he was known to be an aggressive player, but in the crowd at Courier House where we played, he was about the median, definitely not in the top quartile. Nelson also makes a point to add that although Gates lost often, he always settled his account immediately. He says, "I don't remember a single time Bill was in debt." During a speaking engagement at Harvard University, Gates did admit one regret he has from his college experience. "Well, I wish I had been more sociable," he says. "I wish I had gotten to know more people. I was just so into being good at the classes and taking lots of classes. I was so antisocial. I never would have even known the social clubs existed. But Steve Ballmer decided I needed to have some exposure to, I guess, drinking. He got me punched through to the Fox Club. So I would go to those events, and that was highly educational. The male to female ratio was 1 to 1, which was an unusual thing at the time. It didn't help me, but it was a visual improvement for me. I never went to a football game or a basketball game or, whatever other sports teams Harvard might happen to have. It worked out in the end, but I missed a lot. Alrighty everyone, that's going to do it for today's video on what Bill Gates was like in college. If you'd like to learn more about how he earned a personal fortune worth billions, I encourage you to check out our full biography on the Brooksy Society website. I'll go ahead and drop a link to the article in the description below this video. Anyways, don't forget to smash that like button, leave a comment, let me know what other topics you'd love to learn about, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.